Okay, so let's say you need to do some structural detailing, for instance. How you gonna do that? You guys don't just do model. So assuming if your model is done, you need to create those detail. All right, let's say don't care about 3D now. Take a look at the plan. Okay, so this is our model. If I quit this, yep. So of course, if there's a requirement to create a section view, you need to know how to do it. All right. So this is temporary one. I'm gonna delete away. Yes, there should be another one somewhere. Lower roof, first story, let's say. Oh, it's here. So this one I'll delete. All right. So let's say if you go to cut a section for a model, how? You simply just need to cross-section the model using your section tools. All right. So under the View tab, you still can get your section tools. Okay. Select this, cut across. Let's say randomly from here across. All right. Like this. Then you can adjust the depth. See how you want it. Of course, when you cut the first section, try to immediately rename it. Don't leave it as section 1, section 2, and so on. All right. It's to prevent a confusion there. Okay. So right click, rename. This is my building section AA. So normally you have a horizontal cut section and a vertical cut. All right. Of course, sometime when you cut section, you may want to show some of the so-called the hidden stuff which is can't be seen. For instance, your ramp and the staircase. Okay, so for start, let's say I have another section which is a vertical. Let's say like this. Randomly, maybe I select somewhere in between. Here. Okay, so here this section will be my section BB. When talking about this far clip depth, you can adjust anytime. Important thing is here, this particular section line, where you are placing it. So here, I'm going to rename this as my building section BB. Okay, all right. So you guys know that you are able to so-called few ways to open up your section view. All right, first, of course, you can double click at the browser. Second method is you point at this bubble here, double click. you open up the section view. Yep. And lastly is select the section line, right click, go to view. These are the three different ways to open up your section view. Yeah. Okay. So remember, if let's say your model is up or done ready, not much kind of change. There's two ways to remove the model. One is, let's say, temporarily you don't want to see, but you still prefer the link to be connected. You can go to Insert under Manage Link. Temporarily here, the status show is loaded. You just click Unload. Okay. And remove constraint. If I cancel, still loaded. Okay. Remove. Remove. Unload. Okay. Remove. You'll be gone. So you see purely your model. All right. So anytime you can reload back your model for reference. So this is more on a temporary basis. Now for those that is confirmed long term, that means it's permanent. Done ready, no longer require that. You can select remove like this. Not just delete from your screen or from any of the model view. Okay, because when you delete, anytime you can still load back because the link is still attached. Okay, so remember this. Since our model not completed yet, so I might not want to completely remove. So I just use a unload method. All right. So by selecting this, all your views now in your the model or plan, you will not able to see that model anymore. Okay. So understand that. Now, the other thing is if your model getting bigger, and let's say for instance your section view is just cutting across, by selecting the section line, you notice that there's a gap in segment, which is sometimes too many lines also can cause some misunderstanding. Meaning what? Oh, this reference things which might disturbs, like confuse. So you may want to check it to adjust it. Make sure it's outside. So don't disrupt your view. So a lesser lines or component to worry. Okay, so you may want to do that, and it's look cleaner. But again, if let's say okay, this particular one, I would like to section at the same time see some staircase in action, but I don't want to move to adjust this. How am I going to do that? Now, first of all, I would like to open up my section view. So lower roof, I close first. I select the section line. Then right click, go to view. So I have two view here. WT. Let me just join these two. Okay. So from here, the view that you're seeing, okay, like this. So actually you can also move your component here bit by bit by using section view. All these things can do that. Need not to use live section box or yeah, in model section box. You can use this to do the adjustment. See all this, see your this beam here. Yeah, you can adjust. Yeah, okay. But of course now currently what you're seeing is RAM lah. Oh, you add beam, you are able to move it. adjust up or down. Okay, but again, what I'll try to show you here is select your section line. You notice that we have a split segment. That means you may cut a zigzag or multiple adjustment, which is I want to do one here. I'll split this. Depends on your move up or down. This is how you can adjust it. If the top stay puts below, cut my staircase. Then I cut both staircase. After that, maybe I split again. Go back to my ramp. So notice that I can have a multiple adjustment and your section view will update instantly. How cool is that? Okay, so you won't miss anything. Things that you forget to copy, here and there, or you are showing people, okay, this is how my staircase going to show. Questions? And of course, you worry that the line also too messy also. You can give a gap. They'll behave like this. So again, all this is still adjustable. Yeah. All right. You can adjust. Anytime you can also change, drag, the view will update at the same time. How cool is that? Okay. Then of course, sometimes you want to restrict people to see the depth, how far, or certain clearance. You need to adjust is this width, the depth, the far clipping depth. Then you will see that your view will start to change. So which one you want to show people, which one you don't show people. Oh, you can drag. Of course, here it was mezzanine level. You cut, you're able to see your mezzanine level. All right, sometimes section view just not for showing people. When you're doing your model editing, you can use this to crop your view to help you in editing. All right, yeah. Now, let's maximize the section view itself. We have more things to talk about. So TW. Now, what you see this crop view here is actually just now that box, the depth. So if you are adjusting the height here, also does the width, it does affect the one at the plan. All right. And of course, when all your sections are done, you need to hide away. Don't leave it like this because people might don't know what is this. The line is, or the box is there. Then they will just simply delete away. You delete means this section view will be gone. So what you got to do is you got to hide it. Do not show. Okay. Now, if I enable back again, I don't know whether you guys notice when by selecting the section box, you notice there's another break here. It says vertical view break. And here is your horizontal view break. Now, what is this particular view break for? Any idea? And what is his purpose for having this? Anyone want to answer? Hmm? Anyone? Hello? You guys are there? Jai, Ethan, or Ann, sorry. Or Mo, Edgar?
Yeah.
Oh, you all know, huh? What's the reason? Ah, yes, do know, now become do not know. Jia Yi, what do you mean by that? No or don't know? Okay. How about the rest? You still try to catch up. Catch up like what?
Catch up like what?
Don't care about the model
Don't care
yet.
about the model.
I'm asking you the question here is, what is this view that you see here? What is the usage? Same, but most done just copy paste and small adjustment. Meaning what? Only adjust the frame of the section box. In the plan, I'll say there's nothing much, but if you are doing it on your elevation, yes, it does make a lot of difference. Why I'm asking this? Because when you can see, you notice that the ability to off the view vertically or horizontally, and to join back, just drag and touch. Now, why we need to do that? Reasons are pretty simple. If you have a huge site or huge plan, your model tends to be very big. So once big, meaning what? Your scale factor will affected because ARCI model normally their drawing will be like 1 is to 100, 1 is to 200. So if based on that, let's say your model is huge, like for this industrial house, uh, warehouse here, the scale factor you might end up maybe instead of 1 is to 100 or 200, it may end up 1 is to 500. So once you increase in scale factor, means my model appear on my plan paperwork, it becomes smaller. Smaller means they are not clear. Not clear means you need to enlarge certain detail, which is not so good. So this box here more or less will save you some time, whether vertically adjust or horizontally adjust. Why? Okay, maybe give me a minute. I think what I know what's happened. It could be the video here when I start to share. I did check the share sound, so it sounds weird. Let me remove away. I think after that should be better. Okay, is it better? Yeah, because before class start, I was listen to the YouTube just now, so I click the share sound, so it sounds like a thing dual voice, right? I believe. Okay, you should tell me earlier, man. Okay, so that's what I mean. Now, if you are creating floor plans which is similar, that means what? Identical. Do you need to really show every level? No need, because they are replicable. Means keep repeating unless something different. So, because due to that, notice what happened. There's an arrow in between. Move view region. By adjusting this, you notice that yes, you lowering this, not physically. It's only graphically adjusted. That means the location, the coordinates, they are still intact. It's just that the view, when you compress or move them closer, that means my scale factor can be decreased now. Maybe instead of just now 1 to 500, maybe now it's to 1 to 400. Okay, so this is why when I have section view, you need to adjust what you want to show. not just blindly the whole elevation. Okay, although yes, this might be a section view for the whole model, but in certain cases you may want to fine tune your view. Depends your focus, what you're going to show. So if let's say you decide to readjust back, just get the grid and touch, you automatically push your model back to normal. All right, so this is something that which is very helpful when it comes to big project. Same thing, you can move this, which you can see there's an arrow here. See, move view region, you adjust it lah. So your scale factor can be reduced further. Okay, so this is something that a lot of people actually are hoping to fine tune their models, which is actually quite interesting. All right, not just cut section view and that's it. So while you're cutting more on the model section now, some other section for detailing, something like I want to show the rebar of a beam, and some other stuff. How you going to adjust that? Okay, if you need. I'm not talking about the full section model, partial view. So let's go back to my first story. If I need to show some detail for rebar, for instance, maybe one of the beam here, whether this support here, all right, you may want to zoom in and cut a section. You notice that when you section this, it still cut the whole model, but you are showing something similar, but a portion of it. All right, so section view, pick across like that. Okay, then don't need to be very big unless there's some other connection. Okay, then you adjust the name. Okay, here. So I'll call this that beam section. So rename beam section. Maybe you can call 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe beam section. Just now AABB now CC lah. Okay, you may want to do that. So how you manage, you got to do it properly. So I'm going to open this view and it show me every floor. I don't need to show all this. Okay, and of course section view, try to zoom in, adjust your text this level outside first, away from the beam. If not, they are overlapping. Okay. Now I like to see only this detail. All right. So from the top, drag all the way lower. Only this area. Like this. See or not? Okay, like this. Right. So if you are showing some detail here, after that, what is this? Reference plane for your section. This one you can temporarily hide them. Right click, graphics override by element, not visible. So things that not related, don't show them. Now, although you cut them as a section, only this view is 2D. Whatever your model display in 3D, some lines they are overlapping still can be hidden. All right, that means if you go to modified tools, you are still able to do some line hidden, like invisible line, don't show, overlapping. So make sure you select the component correctly and adjust. All right. So from here, what you adjust, component is still 3D. But again, if you editing detail here, this is 2D. Okay? So far so good. Have anyone in structure on some other stuff that you need to add in detail or not for this section view? Okay. Now, one of them is like this. Let me show you. If I need to add my rebar on this, okay, so rebar, the tools here might not show you, but the moment you select your slab or your beam, you notice that it will appear rebar. Okay, so if I select rebar, okay, currently it's telling me, okay, rebar shape definition not included hooks. Okay, because for Singapore, I don't know why this particular the rebar we call stirrup, it doesn't have an angle. It just display in the way that like a box or rectangle shape, which is normally rebar stirrup. They have should be an angle when it come to ending. All right, here it don't show. Don't worry, we can still edit. So you notice that the tools, the rebar shape will appear. You can resize to adjust it and how you're going to place it. See that? So you are using 2019. Here you can add rebar. What is sketch rebar? That means you draw yourself. This one is to create free form. That means depends on some adjustment. You can do that. This one is to load the shape. When you load the shape means all this rebar shape. Default for Singapore, this is your browser. That means the standard come with your or score preloaded in your this template or structure template. And of course, if you sketch your shape for the rebar, they also will include as a new rebar shape here. Of course, only for your current project lah, that what you have used. But this is the standard rebar shape that is here. Okay, so these shapes here, they also appear at the browser. So this browser here, if you want to hide, just check this button at the option bar, it will go away. You check again, it will appear. And you lazy to scroll to look at the name, you can actually via select the name from here. But that's provided you understand every shape tied out to the name. So most of the time, if you are seldom use this, you are not familiar, I would still prefer that you select from the browser here. So let's say if I'm creating a stirrup, for instance, the slab I don't care yet. Is this section view the beam I want? Okay, all right. So you may want a stirrup. So stirrup should be something like this. Where is it? This guy. Shape 51 or 63. Okay. The rest is more like a spring, which I seldom see this. This is for some arc shape. So just now there's error message is your rebar supposed to be behave like this. There's a bend hook angle, which is like 135, 180 or 90 degrees kind of thing. But you can see the rebar default, the 51, where is it? It doesn't have a hook bend angle, which is they actually enclose nicely. Normally this is not the correct one or the correct way. That's why I don't know why in Singapore, rebar shape, the setup looks kind of funny. So sometimes you prefer to sketch it yourself, because if you're based on this, then you could base on all these adjustments to insert. Okay, yeah, all right. So if I pick this, can insert now? See, it works here. And you notice one thing here, which behind, that is your rebar cover. All right, and your rebar cover, you can adjust the depth, depends on the requirement. All right, okay, or you prefer to maybe custom build I mean draw yourself, sketch. Okay, you may do that if you want. So sketch, let's say I pick anything from here. See, you say the shape doesn't include hook. Okay, so you see the cover, you want to base on this to draw. See now. Now, if you come to here, then you continue lah, because it's supposed to be a hook angle ma. Let's say 45. Okay, like this. This one here, if I'm going to add here, of course no overlap. Let's click finish and see how the guy look like. More than one loop. What happened? Where's the error lies? Continue. Okay. To them, more than one loop. Finish. Okay, like this. Looks kind of weird. Okay, skeleton line. Now, the thing is, because of detail level, still component, if it's showing skeleton line, you make sure that you set your detail level to 5. Now become a 3D. Okay, see that? You can put it in also, whatever thing you select, unless you clear it. And here, if you select this, you can change your rebar radius. I think for our case, this size should be quite thick, right? Let's say I give how 20. Nowadays, I think they are using the H new standards. Let's try 25. See, it's very thick. Okay. If you're gonna do something like this, the cover will not able to take it. You'll break easily. All right. So this is because I use a manual draw. Let me delete away. What happens if I go to structure itself? You just simply click rebar. Click OK. I'll use the standard to place it in. Let's say like this. Put it in. Okay. Finish. Change tickle size, maybe 25, just to create the visibility. Now, the hook itself, sometimes you might not know. Sorry, you might not know where is it. You can actually from here start. See, they have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 is none, 2 is 90. I want 135, 3. So come to here, select this. You see it bend. One more, the other one. Same thing. bend. So it should look like this normally for a rebar stirrup. Okay, questions? As for the cover, this guys, it doesn't follow. Very weird. It should follow the stirrup here. I mean the cover. Very weird. Why it doesn't follow? Now, again, if I take out my properties, you select that particular beam. You see that they have what we call the rebar cover bottom and rebar cover other face. So when they say bottom means this, other face means top, left, and right. So you can change what type of cover you want. Now here is only choose and edit. But again, if you need to create the additional cover, if you're using the US template, they already have some sample creating for us, right? But for Singapore, of course, you got to know our standard here because ours is always summer throughout, not like they have season winter you can adjust. So if you go to the structure, you see something here says cover. All right, by selecting cover, you see that you can have the editing cover. Yes, Jitao, you want to say something? Now here you can see that there's a default cover 1 which is 25. Let's say I want something thicker. For instance, I add another one cover 2. Maybe I change this to 40. I click apply. Then I have that. So I can actually apply here. Whether if you select from here, say pick element. That means if you pick the whole beam, copy element, the other face and the bottom face will all standard throughout 40 mm. Okay, but let's say you want to modify certain face, maybe at the bottom. Why bottom? Because when you talk about structure analysis calculation, your beam tends to the deflection means it deflect due to the loading. So due loading, when it deflect means bottom is too weak the structure, the cement will crack. Agree? So sometimes here they want it to be thicker. So if only the bottom to be thicker, yes, you can select the uh, beam itself. Then you go to the properties and change. But if you don't want, you can select this one called by the face. So you pick face. You pick only this particular face you want. Then you change to 40. You can do that. Okay. So just now, the other method I'm explaining is I can select the beam, then you change from here. River cover, bottom, you choose. See now? So there's two different methods or two different ways you can adjust the rebar cover. Okay? Questions so far? So of course, this is what you're going to add. Then the next is your rebar. Now, using the same rebar, click again, select from the browser. It should be those something like a rod, one line only. Select this, put it in. That's not what I want. Change this guy to maybe 20. Orientation is wrong, so you change work plane to cover. This is correct. See now, perpendicular to cover, same to that. See, so all this is parallel to work plane. So you see horizontal line. This one parallel to cover the rod. All right. Parallel means what? This is your cover, right? Parallel lah. Perpendicular is like this, no? So depends on the view you adjustment. So these two actually quite aligned. But don't worry too worry much. As long as you're able to see them appear here, then it's okay. Current work plane means you insert this guy currently this. This one is near to the cover reference. This is far, meaning what? Your beam current means what? You section at this, they show here. Then to the front, to the rear. So total there's 3 view. One is your cut, one is the start, one is the end. So this is something here. And this particular one here is to show. Single means you only created one. All right, later I'll show you something in that. Okay. Now, meantime, I want to place it in here. So it's a bit smaller, the 20. So funny. Okay, let me select something, maybe 32 lah. Make it big, just for the fun of it. It show me single. How much should I add? Let's say I want the support strength. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say. So my rebar single, I want to fix number. Not 3, but 4. It will appear 4. That depends on your selection. See, you select the orientation, it change. See now. Okay. All right. So for this case, I want it to be 4. So something like this. Top bottom, huh? So select first. You might notice that the spacing is not correct. Don't worry. Once you added them, you can still see the arrow. Drag the arrow to make sure they are inside. Like this. See that? Here. Drag again. Make sure it's inside. Sorry, not the number. Sometimes so small, you got to drag it. Make sure it's in. Okay, like this. So either you add some more or you select and copy. Also can. Normally I'm quite lazy lah. I like just copy in. Okay, like this. You're done. Now, this is only when you're displaying at the section view, because when you cut your concrete, you don't just see the cement, the structure, concrete inside. You should see the rebar. So whenever you cut a section view, not building section, your partial view like this, like beam section, slab section, or column section, you must add rebar component inside. This type is a must. For those that are using Revit 2018, Revit 2018, they have a plugin extension, which they will help you to generate your rebar a lot more easily. But they don't have the enhancement tools like Sketch Rebar lah, you know. I think they have, but don't have a free form and some other tools, which is 2019 onward, they take away the extension tools. Yeah. So they give you more option to adjust it nowadays. Okay. Now, this is section view. I have something to share with you also. Okay. Let me open the 3D view for this. Okay. WT. Where is this particular beam here? Because here, if you view as a 3D model, you might not able to see everything. Now select this beam. Hopefully they able to tell me where is it. If I lazy to view from here or just from here, you simply select this, go to section box. They'll show like this. Better, right? Then from here, you adjust it. Okay. So, oops. Where is beam? Okay, here comes the magic. Why I say magic? Look carefully, huh? I select the stir up. That's one thing. But the thing is, you notice it doesn't show in the 3D. But in your layout, I don't want to have a single, means only one. I like to have maybe a fixed number, for instance. Default, they show me 3, fine. But here, at the section view or in the 3D, I like to see the 3 stirrup that is there. But you notice that it doesn't apply here. Okay, here's the trick. Select the stirrup. You scroll down, look for this one called graphics. View visibility states, not your standard VG. No, only rebar. We have this special view tools. All right, you go edit, meaning here the table is telling you or showing you this stir up here. You want to display in this view as a 3D and unobstruct, meaning what? Yes, rebar is inside your cement, but you still say, hey, don't care about the cement cover. You still able to see it live, you know? Yeah. But which view? This view called 3D, right? So should be this guy lah. You just need to check and check this to view as a solid and do unobstruct. Okay, let's do one thing at a time. Okay, where is it? Set your view. Find again. It's there, but it doesn't show. If I go to wireframe, you should able to see. See? Is that right? See now. Now, let's say I select again. This time round, I change it to unobstruct. Okay. Click detail again. Fine. Double check. Set this guy back to shaded or consistent color, doesn't matter. You are still able to see your stirrup is there. See that? Let's move the text away or the VG, hide your level. Very annoying at times. So when it appeared there, off it. Okay, like this. This box, if there's no change in length, you may want to hide it also. Right, select, right click, hide in view, element. Now, okay, you can have that in some detail show. Now, of course, it's impossible to add only 3, right? It should be more. So you can select from here, then you how many numbers you want. Maybe 10. See, they enter 10 for you. Hey, see that? Okay. Of course, you still can adjust. All right, drag the distance. So default is based on the face to face. See that? Touches face to face. That means one bin connected to your column. Can? Now, same thing applies for these two. Select them, Control key, select this. Hopefully they allow us to change together. Good. We can have that. Turn on both. Okay, it doesn't show. It does. I thought it doesn't show. See that? Now your rebar is there. Cool, right? So this is where you can multiply this. Then you can do calculation. No need to draw every rebar or stirrup in every beam. Don't. It make your file super duper heavy. But your schedule, you can add some formula to multiply them. Okay, questions? So whenever you add a section view, this is not a must unless some special request. Then they like to see where is it. So sometimes presentation you want to show a live section cut, yes. But for documentation, normally this is sufficient. Of course, this is partially done. You should have another rebar here for the slabs. Then all must tie together. Okay? Questions so far for this beam? How about column? Column, you got to section your column plan, right? Correct or not? How about this column? You will select this column. Okay, before I continue, any questions on the rebar here? So what are all these different use? Area can be for your wall, can be for your slab. Then path normally is for opening or for near the edge. That is the purpose of using the path. Now fabric is like those area, but it's just that they are editing on top of a um, wall, which is they don't want. Okay, another word. This is more like cast in place method. So these are all in cast in place. This is more like for existing. You do A&A or this guy wall, maybe the loading not reach the structure requirement. You may use a fabric method. It means you don't hack, you add on top at the surface. Maybe depends on the supporting side. Yeah, so you add like a fabric method. Okay, that's why I call it fabric. New project, normally I don't think so lah. Unless a small scale one, it may be used fabric. All right, a big scale ones normally it should be rebar and area. And just now you notice that the tools, let's say for instance, I select the beam or the slab. All right, then you see if I edit rebar, these are different. This is because you are drawing something that is not non-standard. Then you sketch the profile you want. For instance, the MRT, the column is round, but the support is like a Y profile shape. See that? Those are beams. So you don't get to see standard rebar to form them. So they are using the free form or you sketch to follow the structure itself. Yeah. Okay. So these are two tools for that kind of usage. Building, if it's standards, horizontal, vertical, you might not need to use this. Okay. So as you can see, there's a lot of ways things can be done. But luckily, school works or understanding, we don't go to the extreme yet. All right, because beam itself, we are not focusing much on the construction detail. But in case you need to do simple thing, especially your documentation, when a cut section, yeah, you need to add some rebar detail inside, but not the full detail thing. Okay, questions? Now, I will show you the next one. All right, let me just stop this.